and we're going to look at slope from 2 points. The slope from 2 points. So the most important thing here is what I showed you guys on Tuesday. Slope formula. Slope formula is M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Slope formula is in fraction form because of our rise over run. All right? So you may be wondering, well, why is those little 2's there and those little 1's there? That's because we're going to have 2 different points. All right? So from slope formula, we have 2 points. All right? And the main thing is to remember this formula. Okay? So let's look at an example. That's going to be the easiest way to kind of start this here. Example 1. We're going to find the slope. Let's say our points are -3, 7, and 8, 4. We're going to find the slope between those 2 points. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing is I'm going to label, right? Now you don't have to do this first step, but I recommend this first step because it'll help you stay organized, okay? So step 1, I'm going to label points for formula. Okay? So we're going to label the points for the formula. So I'm going to write the formula down here. M equals, and I'm going to write it in different colors so we can actually see what we're doing here. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to label our points, okay? So what I mean by label my points is I'm just going to go x1, y1, x2, y2. I just label them. Now, why did I label them x1, y1, x2, y2? Because in a coordinate point, okay, remember your coordinate points are x, comma, y. Every point is x, y. It's always, always x, y. Okay? So each one of these is x, y. I labeled these because now this tells me -3 needs to go where x1 is. 7 needs to go where y1 is. Okay? One thing that's very important, do not label these x1, y2, x2, y1. You cannot mix up the little sub numbers. Okay? Can't mix them up. x1, y1, x2, y2. All right? So we labeled our points. Step 2, we're going to substitute points into formula and solve. Okay, we're going to substitute into our formula and then we're going to solve. So let's sub them in. So y2 is 4 minus, here's what's important. This is minus whatever y1 is. If y1 was negative, do not assume that this subtraction sign represents a negative. Okay, it's minus whatever this number is. So minus 7 over x2, which is 8, minus x1, which is -3. So minus -3. It's always subtraction here, and I just plug in whatever those numbers are. And now we're going to solve. So 4 minus 7 is going to give me -3 over 8 minus 3. When I have a subtraction sign and a negative side by side, they kind of cancel each other out. So 8 minus -3 is going to be 8 plus 3, which will be 11. Can I reduce this? No. -3 over 11, that's as far as I can go. So my slope for this equation here, or these 2 points, the slope would be -3 over 11. And that would be my final answer. Now, if we could reduce that, then yes, we would make that smaller. But in this case, we can't reduce it, so it's just -3 over 11. All right, let's look at one more. Example 2. Let's say 2, -9, and 14, -6. We're going to find the slope between those 2 points. All right. So now I'm always going to write slope formula down. Why? It's a good reference, and it just kind of shows me where everything goes. Because if you're trying to think about all that off the top of your head, it can get really confusing trying to keep all that together. All right. Another thing, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. This could also be like this. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x1 minus x2. These are the same, okay? But what I want you to pay attention to is 1, 1, 2, 2. It cannot be y1 minus y2 over x2 minus x1. That right there will give you a wrong answer every time. So just try to stick with y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? So let's label our points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're just going to substitute and solve. So y2 is -6 minus y1, which is -9, over x2, which is 14, minus x1, which is 2. And then we're going to solve the numerator and denominator. So -6 minus -9, these will cancel. So -6 plus 9 is 3, over 14 minus 2 is 12. Can I reduce this? Yes. So when I reduce 3 over 12, I divide by 3, and we're going to get 1 over 4. So your slope between these 2 points, m equals 1/4. So slope from 2 points, all you're doing is you use the formula, you plug and chug, substitute and solve, label, all right, put it in this formula, you just work it out, use your final answer. Okay, so important things here to know is adding and subtracting negative numbers, positive numbers, all right, being able to identify and substitute correctly, okay, and then reduce, all right. Anybody got any questions? Any questions? No? Okay.